You're going along and you're practicing OMAD. Everything's great. You love this way of eating. You've been having consistent weight loss results. And then suddenly the scale stops moving. What should you do? I've been practicing OMAD since January of 2016, and I found it super helpful on my own 80-pound weight loss journey. I love practicing it even in maintenance. It is my preferred way to eat. In this video, I'm going to take you through the process of what to do if it just seems like it's just not working for you anymore. So the first thing is to make sure you're being consistent. The main reason a plan seems to stop working is usually you've stopped really practicing the plan. This can manifest in several different ways. Like, oh, well, yeah, yesterday I took the day off, and yeah, well, I had a snack here on this day, and, I kind of ate like 2 meals that day, but then, the next day it was just it was kind of a normal day, but then the next, you kind of just get into these habits. So the first thing is to check and make sure you're actually being consistent with OMAD. And if you haven't been consistent, then just go back to being consistent, and that should get the scale moving. The second thing to check is to make sure that it actually has stopped working. Now, the thing is, on the weight loss journey, it's really easy to get impatient. I say that as a person who struggles with patience. I've gotten more patient, thanks specifically, I think, to OMAD. But sometimes a slowdown can seem like a stop, and really that's not true. It's just slower weight loss, and slower weight loss naturally kind of happens as you approach a normal BMI. So that may be happening. So first assess, like, are you actually stopped, or is it just kind of slowing down? But if it actually has stopped, meaning, you're weighing yourself daily, you're keeping track of your 7-day average, and if you don't know how to do that, I've made videos about it. I also have a spreadsheet on my website that's free where you can download it, and it will calculate your 7-day average for you on a running basis. If you are looking at that number and your 7-day average really has flatlined for the past 6 weeks, then yeah, maybe the way you're practicing your plan right now really has taken you as far as it can go. So let's talk about some concrete actions that you can take if that's the case. The main thing to remember here as we proceed is that if the scale is stuck, meaning it's not going up and it's not going down, it's just right here, it means you have started eating in your maintenance calorie range, meaning you're not in a deficit, so the scale's not moving down, and you're not in a surplus, so the scale's not moving up. You're just kind of eating just the right amount to stay where you are. But if you still have weight left to lose, and that's important to you, then it means that you have to get yourself back into a deficit. And you can do this by just making some small little tweaks to your plan. Now, I'm of the opinion that OMAD is as extreme as I want to get. In other words, I want to eat at least 1 meal a day. It's very important to me, just on a personal level, that I eat once a day with my family. So I don't recommend going, any further with your fasting window or anything like that. I just, would rather keep it at OMAD and then focus on the actual OMAD and let that be where we troubleshoot. So how do you get yourself to eat a little bit less? And I want to emphasize that it really just needs to be a little bit less. We're not talking about taking away a whole lot of food or anything. This is just enough of a tweak to get the scale moving back down. What you were doing before was working, which means you're really, really close to eating in a deficit. It just takes just a little bit of change. And so one way you can do that is by making sure you are not distracted when you're eating. Now, this means putting away your phone, not having it at the table, not even having it in the same room. No distractions, no TV on, not even in a different room. You turn everything off. All distractions are off. You don't have food at the same place where you're doing your work. You go and sit at a table and just focus on the food. Also, make sure that you have made plenty of time to eat when you're eating your OMAD. So this may mean saying no to certain commitments, telling people like, look, I'm too overscheduled. I don't even have time to eat my meal in peace. I only eat once a day and I just can't even eat it in peace. So I need to say no to this commitment. And as best you can, make the actual ritual of sitting down and eating a relaxing event. Say a prayer before your meal, thank God for the food. Now, when you actually sit down to the meal, try to go as slowly as you possibly can when you're eating. And I mean, literally, like, try to slow down the velocity. So in other words, take a bite of food and then put down your fork. Just that little action can actually break your speed up quite a lot. Also, you can try procrastinating on getting seconds. So, maybe you've eaten your whole plate of food and you're like, I want more. Instead of just automatically reaching for more. It doesn't mean you can't have more. Just like, wait a minute. Just sit there and think, I'm just going to wait just to see, do I really want that food, or is that really more habit? Because sometimes it's just habit. And while you're sitting there waiting, then, take the time to have conversations. If you've got kids or if you're married, have conversations about what was going on with your day, and just try to enjoy the actual atmosphere that you're in. Now, those things actually do take a while to really hone in. So I would recommend doing that for several weeks just to see if that can get the scale moving downwards. And while you're doing that, also make sure that you're not stressed about anything. Now, this one's a big one for me. What I have found 9 times out of 10, if the scale starts to get stuck if I'm trying to lose, or if it starts to go up when I'm trying to maintain, what's usually happening is I'm stressed and there's something going on that's bothering me, and that spills over into when I'm eating a bit too fast because I'm thinking about that thing I'm stressed about, and it's just not good. So instead of doing that, try to figure out some ways to take action on your stress. Sometimes that's having a conversation that's probably going to be uncomfortable, but that needs to happen. Or it might be taking an action that you are scared of. Or it might be, you just need to go talk to somebody, go to confession, or go talk to your best friend or your mom or your grandma, just somebody who will listen to what's going on and that can give you some good advice. Now, that's always been the things that I've done to get the scale moving for myself. But if you find that you've done all of that and you still are having some trouble, then you can try to do a little bit of tweaking with the actual amount of food that you're eating. So for example, you could just say it's just 1 plate of food. You're not going to get seconds. Or you could do something like you're not going to have drinks with calories in them. You might try eating more fiber so that you feel fuller. But ultimately, if you just keep it in your head that the name of the game here is just to eat a little bit less than what you've been eating, I think you'll find that you'll eventually get the scale to start moving. So I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe below.
In 2015, I weighed in at 222 pounds, which meant I was obese. I was determined to figure out a way to lose the weight permanently while still eating all the foods that I loved. I found success when I committed to a very simple plan. I practiced intermittent fasting 6 days a week, took a cheat day on Sunday, and walked 6 miles every day. I determined that I would not count calories. I would not restrict any foods or carbs, and I would instead focus on eating until I was full. I lost a total of 80 pounds with this plan, and it's helped me maintain in a healthy weight range for over 6 years. I've taken the lessons I've learned on my weight loss journey and written the Laid-Back Guide to Intermittent Fasting, Overcoming Weight Loss Obstacles, and the Laid-Back Guide to Weight Loss Maintenance. Grab your copies on Amazon and get started losing weight today.